Hey everybody, Aaron Cowan, Sage Dynamics. Continuing our series on rifle drills, we have Eleanor. I've done a video on Eleanor where I talked about what the drill is, what the drill's purposes are. I shot it with a handgun. The drill, it even says on the target, you can print off the sagedynamics.org website. It's also applicable from a rifle. With a handgun, it's shot from 3 yards from the holster. With a rifle, it's shot from 5 yards from a low ready. Of course, low ready is, what does that mean? It means different things to different people. My low ready is I need to be able to see my target from feet to head, which most targets don't have feet. So I bring the rifle low enough to where I can see the target stand. So I can't do this, that's high ready. It's still high ready. That's still high ready. Okay, there's the feet, or there's the ground, there's the target stand. So that's kind of the starting position. I bring my rifle low enough to where I can see over my gun, most of my gun's out of my peripheral vision, if not all of it, and I can see the target stand to the top of the target. That is the starting position. You have 2.5 seconds, that's the par time, to shoot 4 rounds. The first round is going to a 1-inch circle, line breaks don't count. Then you immediately transition down, going against recoil, which is one of the added difficulties to the drill, and you have to fire 3 rounds of cadence fire to a reduced sized A-zone. So you're still getting the width. You're still getting 4 inches of width, but you're not getting the 6 inches of height that you're used to if you're used to my 4x6 A-zone. And that is Eleanor. The whole purpose behind this drill, its inception, was a low round count drill I wanted to come up with to measure students, or to measure skills that had been covered or instructed at that point in a class. So this drill is part of my red dot handgun class, although you can shoot it on iron sights. And of course, as we're talking about it, it also is something I include in my rifle courses to measure things that we've talked about at that point in the class. So the drill is a little bit out of context, but it still measures those things for you, the shooter, even though you haven't been through the class. So we're looking at anchoring. How efficiently do I mount a rifle and anchor it to a very precise point of aim? How quickly can I do that, which is why there's a par time. I also have to hold over based on my zero distance. If you're one of those weirdos that does a 7-yard zero, or if you do a 25, which is another popular zero, or you do a 50-yard zero, or you do a 100-yard zero, you got to know your holdover. And if you're going to hit a 1-inch circle, you really got to know your holdover. That's the first shot. Then, coming down against muzzle rise, I have to mentally change gears and shoot fast, pop, 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 because I may not have a whole lot of time left over from my holdover on my 1-inch anchoring precision point of aim. So even though it's only 4 rounds, I get 2.5 seconds to do it starting from a low ready at 5 yards. The drill can be quite challenging. I love this drill for handguns and for rifles. I love it so much because I came up with the drill. I've probably shot it more than anyone else, and I don't consistently get it. But what I do get, and let's say I run it 10 times and I get it 4 or 5 in a row, hopefully, that's being optimistic on some days. Let's say I run it 20 times and only get it once. Run it on the same target. I've got a lot of bullet holes in that target now, and that target tells me how close I am to the skill set that I want. So if I've only got 1 or 2 holes in my black circle, but I've got a bunch of holes edging and they're all around it and they're like within fractions of an inch, or they're breaking the line, that shows to a degree how precise my presentation of my red dot is, how precise my holdover is from that distance under those time constraints. So it gives me an idea where I'm at skill-wise. And then bringing the gun down to shoot my 3 rounds of cadence, I get an equal measurement of how quickly I can change gears if I'm making par every single time, and how efficiently I'm able to fire 3 rounds really fast to a very small point of aim, even though it is at 1 distance. I'm only shooting it from 5 yards, but drills are drills. You can shoot this drill from other distances, although it becomes less helpful the further back you go if you're still trying to make the par time, because it starts to become a little unrealistic. I'll shoot it from 10 and 15. When I shoot it from 10 and 15, I kind of forgo the 1 circle, the 1-inch circle, and I use that triangle, which is why it's still on the target. Quick 4-round drill. This is something you can run cold, is the best way to measure it. So first thing, you get the range, staple one of these bad boys up, set your shot timer par time up for 2.5 seconds, get 5 yards away from your target, come down to a low ready where you can see the stand to the top of the target stand, and on the beep, don't forget what you're doing. Shoot 1, transition down, pop, 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 shoot 3. That's Eleanor, 4 rounds. Then run it again and again and again and again and again. Let's say a mag's worth, or run it 10 times. Come up with a set number, watch your par times, and then you get a good heat map of performance and consistency from your 1-inch anchor and your 3 rounds of cadence. And that's pretty much how Eleanor works with the rifle. It's, again, a drill I came up with. Sometimes it's better to seek out somebody else's drill for objective measurement. But the par time for Eleanor was not chosen by me. I sent this drill out to a lot of my peers and said, hey, run this drill, give me your best times, your worst times that you performed it to. And we did an aggregate average of all those times that were then sent back to me through text message and email and in person. And it was done for the handgun. The score we came up with was the time limit, I should say, we came up with was just it was 2.47, and I rounded up to 2.5. You're welcome. With a rifle, kind of the same application, I did the same thing. It's like, hey, sent this drill out. It's like, from my definition already, is 2.5 seconds reasonable, but also challenging? And most people said, yeah, it's not the hardest rifle drill I've ever shot. Not every drill has to be the hardest, but it's still challenging, and it still reinforces the principles you're trying to teach. And that's the most important thing about a drill. What does it do? What does it help us do? What does it measure? So this is another drill I like for rifle purposes. There'll be another one next week. I'm Aaron Calvin with Sage Dynamics. Train accordingly.